What's up? It's Jen Brown. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing some of my tips for recipe organization and food prepping if you're somebody like me who doesn't really like to do traditional food prepping. So for this first part, I'm going to be doing how I organize recipes. So if you are just here for the food prepping, why can't I say that? If you're just here for the food prepping, you can go ahead and skip to this part of the video. Okay, so I have been preparing myself to make this video. I don't know why I feel slightly embarrassed about this, but I feel like I'm exposing something really weird and nerdy that I do. But basically, I really enjoy organizing things of any variety. I like to alphabetize things. This bookshelf is entirely categorized and alphabetized. And if I can color code it, that's just extra. So what I started doing a few years ago, even before I got really into cooking, is, let me grab some. I love to get cookbooks, and I just found that I had a lot of cookbooks, but it was kind of overwhelming sometimes to go look through it. So now what I do anytime I get a new cookbook is I go through the entire thing and I have just cut up pieces of post-it notes. I have both. I have cut up pieces of note cards that I am going to save that I want for recipes that I want to try. And then I have a list that I'll show you in a second. And once I've tried them, if I like them enough, which I've liked a lot from, this is the Easy 5-Ingredient Healthy Cookbook. I like this one a lot, but a lot of these I have to I have notes in here. This is one of those cookbooks that thinks healthy means barely any seasoning, absolutely no salt. And so you have to tweak these a little. But once I like them, then I have sticky notes that I have color coded. So it's yellow for breakfast, orange is lunch and dinner, pink is snacks, desserts, and purple is drinks, which I don't think there are any drinks in this one, but that way I can go back and find the ones I like. And anything from Pinterest, or once I've finished a whole recipe book, if I haven't saved very many recipes from it, I will just write them down in my big fat recipe binder that I've had. My mom, I think, got me and my sister and one of my cousins this binder when we were in high school, but I've just started filling it in the last couple of years. I'm actually at a point where I might be getting a new one soon, just because this one's big and hefty and I need to split it up. So that's kind of what I do now to help me get through the new recipes that I want to try. And then I have my trusty list, which we're about to make a new one of these. About, I don't know, 2 or 3 times a year, I will redo this list when I've crossed off a whole bunch of stuff. It's just a couple of pieces of notebook paper, and I just have them separated into drinks, breakfast, lunch and dinner, desserts and snacks. And I've gone, it seems very excessive, but this is my system that works. I have at the top all of my cookbooks color coded so that it's easy to remember. So if I'm getting ready to decide what breakfast I want to make, and I'm oh, I want to make blackberry scones, that sounds good, that's written in red, so I know that's a Pinterest recipe. And it goes like that with all of the cookbooks, so that I don't have to dig forever through all of the books to find them. So I'm gonna remake this list for the year. I try really hard, because there are so many recipes on here, not to add a lot to it when I redo it, or I try not to buy new cookbooks until I've really gone through some. But sometimes I just like to scroll Pinterest and I find new recipes, and I can't help it because it's my favorite hobby. So we're gonna redo this list, and if you want to just kind of like chill, if you want to try this with me, I'm just gonna put on some cool music and redo my color-coded list, and then we will get into the sort of like meal prepping and that side of things. Okay, so for the meal prepping part, once I have list, which this is still the old one, don't tell I'm doing this part before I remake the list. But I actually started doing this during lockdown in 2020 when we were only doing groceries 2 times a month. I used to go to the grocery store like once a week, and I've actually kept this up. So basically what I do is I use my old shopping lists and I will just plan out you know, so many breakfasts, lunch, snacks, drinks, whatever, that I want to eat at some point in the next 2 weeks. So I don't like to fully meal prep where I will absentmindedly cleaning the table, where I, you know, decide everything I'm gonna eat every single day and do all the cooking in one day and do freezer meals and that kind of stuff. I am a leftover queen, but I still like to have choices. So for me, this is a way that I know what I have in the fridge, although it seems like every time I buy something and it just like sits in the pantry and I'm like, why did I buy that? But I still have a choice. So usually what I will do is kind of like half new recipes I haven't tried yet and half recipes that I know I like or that are easy, but like right now we're still on winter break from school, so I like to try more of the new stuff. So I'm just gonna go ahead, I'm gonna go through my list here and decide what I'm gonna make, and then since everything's all nice and color coded, I can just go to Pinterest on my phone or go to my cookbooks and then make my shopping list for this grocery trip. Okay, so this is how I organize my recipes and do my meal prep every couple of weeks. I hope you found this helpful or just enjoyed hanging out with me while I did this. If you like this video and you want to see more from me, feel free to subscribe. I post 2 to 3 times a month. Thanks so much for watching this one, and I'll see you next time. Dang it. I need to I don't like saying that feeling like I have to say the exact same thing every time, but I feel like I get why people do that, because if you accidentally say one thing off, then it messes you up and you just try to keep going and then you screw it up.